Welcome back, guys. Today what we are going to learn is the reporting mechanism in Protractor. Okay, so I have already tested this particular Protractor reporter. It works fine. So let me navigate to a new folder. Okay, then from there we can continue our tutorial. Okay, let's start. Now let's change the folder. Basically in VS Code, I'm using VS Code as my IDE. So once you change the folder, then it means like you have changed the project. Okay, so something like report tester. Here I already have things. Okay, let me create a folder here called what we call. Okay, let's write what we call. Okay, so now we have created a folder called what we call. Also we have made it as our project folder. Okay, I hope you guys are able to see it here now. So I want to test this particular tutorial, or I want to showcase this particular tutorial from the scratch. That's why I'm navigating to a new folder. So the moment we create a new folder, then what we need the installations, right? So press Ctrl tilde. The tilde symbol is key below the escape key. Okay, or you can go to view and then where is it? Yeah, terminal. Okay, similarly view terminal, it will showcase. Okay, so now what we want is we have to install Protractor, Jasmine, and then Typescript. Okay guys, if you are watching from the perspective of Jasmine, then we can showcase that one as well, but the total tutorial will contain like Protractor, Jasmine, and then Typescript. Okay, so if you are not related with the Protractor, then please do not install a Protractor, just install Jasmine, and then remaining steps are same for Jasmine unit testers and Protractor testers. Okay, today we are going to learn about the Protractor reporting mechanism, which was developed by one of our friend. Okay, we'll see the details about him a bit later. Now let's install Protractor. So for this purpose I'll be navigating to what do you call that website, Chercher Tech. Okay, so I am already in a Protractor folder, but it's not required. Let's go to Chercher Tech. Okay, now go to Protractor Typescript. Just I want to copy a couple of bit of code, that's why I'm navigating to here. So if you already know it, then you can write it, it's not a big deal. So I'll be installing Protractor. So for installing Protractor, we have to use a command called npm install Protractor. Okay, it is simple. Npm install Protractor. The next one, by the time it installs, let's copy another installation, which is npm install Jasmine. But when we install this particular thing, we also need to install its dependencies. So let's install this particular npm install save dev at types and Jasmine. So we have to install both of them. Let's install the first Jasmine. Okay, the Protractor is about to complete. Okay, now I have pasted the npm install Jasmine. Let it install and then copy the Jasmine types. If you do not install Jasmine types, you might face issue with expect statements. Okay, it installed. So install Jasmine. It will take a moment only because Protractor is a big package, but Jasmine is not that much big package. And then install Typescript. Okay, now we are installing Typescript as well. So these are the mandatory packages that we need. So let's create an example and let's run it first. So based on the result, then we will import our report, and then we will see how the report works. Okay, so for that purpose also I have all the code here. So I'm just copy pasting it instead of rather than writing all together newly. Okay, so we have a sample test. Okay, let me create a file here called test.ts. so basically this particular tutorial handles with Typescript and then reporter. Okay, the same thing applies for JavaScript as well. so there is no much difference other than this file extension. Okay, so in this test what we are doing is like we have a display block which is kind of a user story, and then we have a it block. It's basically it block is nothing but your test case, and then we are navigating to angularjs.org, the Angular official web page, and then we are retrieving the title of the web page, and then we are printing it here, and then it sleeps for 5 seconds. This sleep I have added just because I want to showcase that the browser is opened. Okay, so that you will not have a confusion, like when if I don't give 5 seconds of sleep, it will go in a moment, so you can't even see it, or I can't even record it in the video. So because of that purpose I'm giving 5 seconds of sleep, and using a sleep is a very bad practice, but I really use a lot of browser.sleeps for your information, because without that one this asynchronous is killing us with this JavaScript and Protractor. Okay, so we have a TS file. Now what we want is configuration file basically. So let me copy the configuration file. So everything you can find it in this website, in this web page basically, chercher.tech protractor/install protractor. Okay, so let's create one more file called conf.js or ts. Let's have it as ts. Okay, now we have the ts, but which here we have to configure, like where is your chrome driver.exe is present, and where your Selenium server jar is present. Most of you people might be using like what do you call that, WebDriver-manage space update, or WebDriver-manage then install or start or something like that. But I'm just download this jar files and exe files separately, so I'm keeping these files in my system, and then I'm pointing these paths to that particular jar files and exe files. So I felt this is a better way. But when you're using Jenkins or something like that, the WebDriver-manage update is the better way. Okay, so if you are working only in local system, this is the better way to use it, because otherwise you have to update it now and then. Okay, so where is our TS file? We have TS file here, so we have to change this path, but let's wait, because this is a what do you call that, compiled file. Okay, because it's in a JS extension, and we have to change this path. Let's configure that TSConfig.json, then we will proceed with this. Okay, so here you can see TSConfig header, and ignore about it, it's not a big deal, just we will get it in online so many places. Okay, so create tsconfig.json. so basically this tsconf, not conf, actually rename it to config. Okay, so what's the use of this config file? Basically this config file will have all the details, like to which version you want to compile, or which are the folders you want to exclude from the compilation, or under which folder you want to place the compiled files, something like that. Here we are targeting for ES6 version. Okay, so model resolutions are node models most of the time. So, and the output directory is JS files location. So basically if this folder is not existing in your file system, it will create a folder here, and then it will write the remaining structure inside this particular folder. And if you want to exclude any folders or any files, we have to mention in the exclude part. So from what to exclude, basically we have to, if you want to exclude from the compilation, something like even this node models can have a TS file or JS file, whatsoever the files. So to the system we are giving like whether we want to compile them into .js files or not. So I do not want to run or check for this node models, because it's heavy, and no one does compilation for node models. And okay, so this is all about TSConfig. Now the last one do we have? Okay, so this is it. Now let's clear the screen. Okay, actually it doesn't clear, it will stay here only, but the only thing is like whatever the visible area, it will be like clear. nothing else will happen with this CLS command on VS Code. But if you apply the same CLS command on command prompt, it will clear the total prints whatever the thing present in the command prompt or in a terminal. Okay, now we have, okay, so let's go to this particular folder. So right click on any file and click on reveal in Explorer. See, we got conf file, test file and TSConfig file and node modules. The node modules is something like whatever we have installed so far, like Protractor, Jasmine and Typescript. These files are npm packages. So whenever you install a npm package, it automatically creates a node underscore modules folder, okay, in your file system. Now here I want to show like there is no JS files location folder, okay. See, but here we have given the output directory as JS file location. So if there is no directory, then compilation will create a new directory. So how we can compile is, either you can go to cmd and then ts the file name, you can compile it something like, let me show you, cmd ts space let's compile the config file. It's not working. tsc maybe, I guess TSC works, I guess. Yeah, so when we use tsc space conf.js, the basically the file name, it will create one JS file from this TS file, okay. So but I don't want to do it, because if two files are there, then you can compile it one by one. But what will you do if you have thousands of files in your system? Most of the time you will have such kind of system. So instead of going for that one, so just go to a folder, okay, either you can go here, okay, so let's clear it. You can here, from here you can give a command like compile now whatever is present in your system, and then again watch for any changes. If I do any change, just change them. So there is a command for that one, tsc-w. Here the -w is for watching, like in future changes also you have to compile without asking me or without recommanding this tsc, okay. So ts-w will what will do is compile the folder structure. So what folder structure? This one. So whatever we have given here, whatever we have included here, basically whatever we have not excluded here, will be compiled under JS file location, okay. So here we do not have any JS files, so let's hit the command. Let's start compiling. See, we got a JS files location folder now, and we should have the same structure, conf test, and JSON file will be ignored, that's different, okay, conf and test, right. So this is our folder. Let's copy this one and go to your conf.ts. So here you just need to replace it and make it double slashes so that it accepts as the what you call complete string and as a path to your system, okay. Now we have created all this stuff. Let's run this particular program and check whether this one is working or not, okay. So how will you run a command, sorry, how will you run the protractor? You might say like go to debug and press this one. So we have not configured anything here, so you can't do it in that way. So what we can do is, let's type protractor, okay, and then the file. But where do we have the file? The file is present in JS file location. So what's the command to navigate to a folder? In Windows it is cd and I pressed J and then tab, it will give you the full folder name, okay. Now hit enter. Now we have navigated to JS file location. Now type protractor space conf, okay, conf and tab, so it will give like conf.js, or you can write something like also conf.js like this as well. Now hit enter. So now it should start the browser and it should go to the Angular application, okay. We'll see how much luck we have here. Okay, it's opening the Angular application. Now it should have print that particular title, So this is for 5 seconds sleep. Here it's waiting. Okay, so the title is, where are you, buddy? Yeah, see, the title is Angular JS super heroic. Okay, JavaScript MVW framework. Okay, now we got it. So we had 1 spec and 0 failures. So this is how by default Protractor will give you the report, like how many passed or how many failed. Okay, so do you think this is the better way to writing a report mechanism? Because I don't think this is a better way to write a reporting mechanism. Okay, as you can't send this particular thing, or you can't send this output to a client for their verifications, or like to have the execution statuses. Okay, so for such kind of time we need to have a HTML report or PDF report, or sometimes an Excel report also will work, but most of the time we prefer HTML reports with some screenshots. So we might not send the screenshots to client, but what happens is, like, if you want to debug yourself, so you might need the screenshots, right? So what happened is, one of our friend, his name is Pawan Kumar. Okay, let me showcase that guy things here. Couple of guys worked on this particular reporting mechanism. We don't say it here. Let's go to Chercher tech Jasmine reporter. Okay, so this is the folder. So in this folder, this is the basically in this web page you will find all the step-by-step wise details to run your code. Okay, with a new reporter which we named it as Chercher tech Jasmine reporter, that is created by one of our friend. So we are really proud of that guy. Okay, so actually it's a team of people worked on it. So something like Vikas, Nagesh, and another Pawan, Rahul, and Rashmi. So these are the people who worked to create this particular report. Okay, so not a big round of applause to them, but yeah, it's a good thing they have developed something. Okay, so how to install it? So basically we can install it using npm command, like so here we are running our what you call tscw. Let's go to integrated console and clear the screen. Now install it, the Chercher tech Jasmine reporter. So it not only installs Chercher tech Jasmine reporter, it also installs its dependencies. Okay, so because it might want to write a report into your file system, and then it want to parse some string structures. So all the dependencies will be installed along with a report. Okay, so you can see the yellow things, so which means it's a success. Now clear the screen. Okay, now come to the same web page, which is like chercher.tech/protractor/chercher-tech-jasmine-reporter. It's so long I can't even read it. Okay, so here we have two kind of settings. One is with people who do not want to have a protractor. Okay, and second one is with protractor. Okay, if you are from a protractor background, copy the second one from the configuration for, sorry, it should look like something like protractor. Okay, now copy it and paste it in your config file. Okay, so while adding, you make sure that you add comma, so that it means like another method. Okay, so onPrepare method is a method which will be executed on a Jasmine whenever the spec files are ready to run, but before running. Okay, so let's import browser, because we want to have a browser in here. Okay, now we are all set. So let me explain line by line. Okay, the first one is here. Okay, here we are trying to get the things. Now what do you call it? Yeah, here we are importing the Chercher tech Jasmine reporter package. Okay, so we are storing it in a variable called Chercher tech Jasmine reporter. Okay, So here we are calling, or we are providing the options which that particular module accepts as the parameters. So we are sending couple of parameters, which is screenshot on fail, report name, show script, and browser, and line chart. Okay, so what is this a screenshot on fail? Basically, if you want to have a screenshots, okay, on failures, then you can set this screenshot on fail method to true, okay, so that it will take a screenshot. But if you do not want to have a screenshot, you can set it to false. This is the report name that you want to give it on your reporting structure. Okay, show script. So sometimes you might have like hundreds and thousands of describe blocks. In such cases, what happens is you might want to run one particular test case. Okay, now what happens to the report is like it will generate like whatever amount of describe blocks is present, because even its script, it is part of your Jasmine, right? So it will generate the report for the entire structure. So we do not need it, because we want to run only one particular test. So when we provide this show script to true, it will show all the describe blocks, skipped, failed, everything. But when we set it to false, it will showcase only the describe blocks which either passed or failed. It will ignore all the skipped describe blocks. Okay, so on the next part is we are giving a browser, okay, browser object to take screenshots. Basically, this is the main purpose of it, to take screenshots. Okay, and the last one is a line chart. I'll showcase it in a moment. Just run this one first. Okay, so let me run it. So the running command is same, not this one, protractor conf.js. okay, so it started running. Again, the result is going to be somewhere nearby that, but we have missed one particular part. I'll tell you what was it. Okay, so 5 seconds of sleep now. Go. Now let's open the reveal it in Explorer. Okay, so basically the report is created inside the JS file location. Okay, wherever the conf file is present, there you can see the report. Okay, so this is the report we have received, and this particular screenshots folder will have all the screenshots regarding to this report. Okay, so this is the report. Normally we get it. So see here, we have 0 tests failed and 1 test passed. Okay, we have a total of stories 1, but total tests 0, total verifications is 0. You might have a question like, just now you ran a test, but how come it says like total verifications is 0? We ran a test, yes, but did we add any expect blocks in here? No, right? So because of which it shows 0. Okay, this is the total time duration it took. Okay, the pass percentage is 100% because nothing got failed, and this is the place where you will get like all the test case details. Okay, and then verification details. Okay, so below here you will have the user stories, either passed, failed, skipped, and then test here. So whenever a test is passed, you will have nothing here, but whenever a test is failed, you will get the screenshots and results. Okay, let me rewrite this particular describe block so that we will have multiple ways. Okay, so let me copy the it block. So this time I do not want protractor. So here let's remove the browser things and all, just give some test2 and put an expect statement. Expect 9 dot to be, let's say 9 to be equal to 45. Okay, this is the second test case, and let's copy it and create one more describe block here. The describe block could be present in the same file or in a different file, it doesn't matter. Okay, so here we are trying to get getting the title right. So let's remove it and try to find an element dot, so element of by dot, yes, element is not imported, of by dot. So consider like we want to find it with id, we want to find the element with id, which is like some random number which is not present in Angular application. Okay, so I want to showcase you the failure here. Okay, so you can say like click, now change it to this one to test3 and this one to test4 and the story name to story2. Okay, so now we have two stories, and one story has like 2 failures, and the second story, let's have it as like okay, so here let's not have any failures, expect 3 dot to be 3. So here we have two, in the first one we have 2 test cases which will pass. Okay, let's change it to change the name, let's do a story1. Okay, so these 2 test cases should pass because we are not giving a false informations. Okay, so these 2 pass and these 2 should fail. Okay, so let's have one more test which has pass and fails. So we are going to have 4 describe blocks in this one for your information. So test story3, here I'm going to have 1 failure and 1 pass. Okay, so this is the story3. So test number 5 and test number 6. Okay, let me add one more story which is going to be story4, and test is going to be 7 and test so after 7 let's say 8, right? I thought it's 9. So we are going to skip the story 4. Okay, so what happens is like when the execution starts, it will execute the first story. It might randomly execute the stories, we can't predict like it will execute in this sequence only, but for a moment's sake let's consider like it executes this one first. So what happens is like it opens the Angular application and then it waits for not it doesn't wait, but it will check for the expect statement. So in the second one also it's the same. In the third one it opens the page, but it tries to click an element which has ID 9090 which is not present, so it should take a screenshot for us. In similar way for test 4 also it should take a screenshot because the expect statement is failure, so the test case is failure. In the third user story, what happens is like the first test is failed because there is no 9089 ID, but the second test will be pass. Okay, in the fourth describe block we are totally skipping the describe block. Okay, so our conf file is the same, I have not changed anything. Screenshot on failure, report name is provide a report name. For your moment's sake, like I can say like nightly regression. I hope you guys are executing it already. I am not sure about the regression spelling, but yes, or regression, yes. Okay, and then we want to showcase the skipped describe blocks. I'm setting it to true, and then browser into browser. Okay, show line chart. Okay, so the line chart was not good here on the one we have already existed because only one test case was there, so it given only points. But if you have more number of test cases, you might see like a wave kind of structure here. Okay, so now let's run it and then we'll see the further what to do. Clear it now. Protractor.js. So it started running. It's going to open the browser and it's going to go to Angular application, and then it's going to verify. After that it's going to fail. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. So here we can see the summary: 6 specs and 3 failures. Okay, which means that 3 are failed, right? We had like 4 discrete blocks. Yes. So now let's go to where JS files location, but yes, this is the one. So we have nightly regression, okay, which is ran just now, like 2018 September 07. Okay, I guess you are okay with the date format like YYY, MM and DD and then the time. Okay, let's open it. See, you got the wave structure now. Okay, so total number of stories are 4 and the total tests are 8 because we had 4 discrete blocks and each discrete block had 2 it blocks. Okay, so here you can see the wave structure, like this particular thing is called a line chart. Basically this line chart will be helpful to showcase like after a certain time or after executing couple of test cases, it may start your application start acting weird and everything may fail. Okay, in such cases you will have peaks. Okay, with that one you will be able to analyze little bit of it. Okay, so that is one of the use case of it. And one more thing, if you notice the line chart, it will have like 3 different widths. The blue one is a skip, and green one is a pass, and the red one is fail. So basically the blue one has 1 pixel width, and red one has like 3 pixel width, and green one has like 7 pixel width, I guess, if I'm not wrong. Why we have differentiated with different widths is when you have like 2 curves are following, like even in this case, if we have like first 0 pass and then 1 pass and then 2 pass and 1 pass and 0 pass, so 2 lines will align in the same way. So in those times you will not be able to see like 2 lines. Okay, you might think like, where did pass line go, where did failed curve go, something like that. So to avoid that particular thing, we have differentiated with the widths. Okay, even there are 2 lines overlap, we will be able to still see the line. Okay, now here you will get the time, like when it started and when it ended, and then the version details, host name and the browser details, and the pass percentage 38%. Okay, so here if you see 3 tests passed and 3 tests failed, and 2 other is nothing but skips. Okay, here we have like 3 tests, 3 verification passed, 3 verifications failed. If you see here, let's go to a test. So here 1 pass, 1 fail, 1 here 2 fail, 2 pass, so we will get like 3 pass, 3 fail. Okay, total 38%. Now coming to the bottom, so here we have all the structure basically. Here we have story 1, story 2, story 3, story 4. In story 1 we have 2 passes, but it will not have any error statements because there is no error. And story 2, 2 failures. Okay, so we have a failure error. Okay, and also we have failure expect statement, which is expected 9, but what we received is 45. Let's see the image. So here you can see the link for image, which will showcase the screenshot like. Okay, so this is a screenshot when the test got failed. Okay, so coming to the third one, I hope you are clear with these two. Okay, and the second one, so here also you can see the screenshot. Coming to the story 3, here we have 1 failure and 1 pass. So this is something like we have implemented a logic like, if there is a failure in a discrete block, 1 it block fails, then we will consider like the total discrete block is failed. Okay, so even though here we have only 1 fail, the total discrete block is considered as fail. Okay, so after that, coming to the story 4, here we have 2 skips. Okay, so if there was any failure or pass, then the story will be considered as a pass. But if there is only skips, like here we have 2 test cases but both are skipped, so the user story will be considered as skips. So this is the thing I was talking about. Like if you have like 1000 skips, do you want to have them printed in your report? No, right? Yes, exactly. I don't want such kind of messy report. So what we have done is like, we have created a parameters for it. So here if I can say like report name and then show script, but I'll make this one as false. Okay, I have made it to false. Now if I run, what happens is like this skip will not be present. Okay, but if you have any skips inside, it will be executed, sorry, it will be notified. So let's add a skip here, like in the story 1, let's add in the story 1 itself have a skip. Skip is nothing but you can make it as X, which means ignore. Okay, now coming to the conf file, now I have set the show script into false, and it should not the result should not contain any skips. Okay, so let me run it again. Control tilde, okay, clear the screen, and protractor conf.js, execute again. It's going to create the same file name, nightly regression. So I'll delete the reports, already existing reports. Even if you don't execute delete them, it will generate a new report, basically because the file name has this date and timestamp, so which is going to be unique all the time. So does the screenshots as well. Screenshots also will not have any particular name, but it will have a timestamps. Okay, now we got the nightly regression because of that execution. Now let's see. One test fail. So it says one story. See here, you do not have the skip, right? Okay, now let's go here. Something happened, I guess. Let me rerun it again for a moment's sake, because I'm not able to see a bit of things clear. Let the execution get over. The execution is over. Let's go to JS files. So this one is earlier generated one, because it says like 17:43. The time is like 5 p.m. Okay, 5 p.m. 45 now. So this is the one. This is the latest one, because it says like 5:44. Let's open it. Now see, we do not have the skip here, right? Right. Now let's change this to false. Now hide the line chart to make it, just make the variable to false. Okay, now if I make it to false, then the line chart, whatever the chart we have here, right, it will not get executed. I have closed them. Let's rerun it. Now protractor conf.js. Okay, it's opening, and then yes, what's should be there. Okay, the 46th is the latest one. See here, you do not see that particular line chart. Do you see any line chart here? Because I can't see it. Okay, so that is the way to hide the line chart. Okay, now it will not be generated. So the next parameter is screenshot on failures. Now I want to make it to false. Okay, now let's, so basically here these two are dependent, like screenshot on failure and the browser. So when you don't provide the browser, you must not set this screenshot on fail to true, because it's going to fail, because whatever the browser object you pass here, that is what going to be used inside the reporter. Okay, so let's remove it or just comment this particular browser as well. Okay, now clear it. So let's okay, before that let's make sure that there is no report as well as no screenshots folder, so that you will get an idea, like if there is a screenshot folder and if there is a screenshots, then obviously the screenshots are taken, but if there is no screenshot, then we can say like yes, report have ignored the screenshots. Okay, here we have, see, we have a report but we don't have any screenshots. Similar way, when we had the screenshots and failures, we had an option called image here, right? But we don't have it anymore. You know why? Because we have not given the value, so that you can't see the image option to check the image file. Okay, so that's all about Chercher tech Jasmine reporter. Okay, so if you have any questions, leave it in the comment, and we will try to incorporate it in the upcoming reporting version. Okay, so if you want this code, it will be present in our web page itself. This is where you can find it. Okay, here you can find all the code. Okay, so the URL is https, then whether it's a colon or off colon, yeah, colon /chercher.tech/protractor/chercher -tech -jasmine reporter. Okay, this was created by Pawan Kumar, as I said earlier. It's a Pawan Kumar and its team. Okay, yeah, the number of people who worked for this one. Okay, so that's all with it. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment.